for you.
Cheers. Oh, this is a big one. Holy shit.
What the fuck was that? That's what I was like when I tasted that.
What is that?
All the staff bought us each a bottle of this, and I'd never tried it to that point.
It looks like it's gonna be a whiskey. Bushmills. I like it. Bushmills. 21-year-old.
So we know this whiskey. I've got 5 bottles of this here. This is what my go-to whiskey for a fine whiskey at night. We've never reviewed it and scored it though. We've reviewed it once and we've never scored it. Now we're gonna review it and score it. We're gonna go for the 16 first, then on to the 21.
Recently we've been looking for a 9-point whiskey and you know, the prize is that I'm gonna buy a Bushmills 21 for the person that can kind of suggest one. And it's not that we don't think it can happen, it's just that I personally would love to find one that I prefer to the Redbreast 12.
I love Redbreast. It's a bloody good whiskey.
If you guys were smart, someone would have suggested this Bushmills 21 and then they probably would have won. Triple pop?
Tell you what, we're not going to remove this until you get here.
I'm looking forward to this one.
It's like medicine. Good medicine for my soul and my heart.
It's hard to beat it. It's really hard to beat this whiskey for me.
2 minutes, guys.
Fuck! 2-minute review. 2-minute review. 2-minute review. 2-minute review.
What's up, guys? It's the Craft Whiskey Boys. Mo has returned once again, and today we're going to be doing Bushmills 16 and Bushmills 21.
I cannot wait for this.
And then I'll be back to the countryside after.
Wait, you fucking the Terminator.
I'll be back.
He came back for steak and 21-year-old Bushmills. So yeah, one of the oldest distilleries in Ireland, if not the oldest licensed distillery in Ireland.
Yeah, I think it was the first licensed distillery in Ireland, 1608, I believe. King James I, could be wrong.
King John Hill loves a bit of whiskey.
King John Hill loves it too.
Yeah, it really is one of the oldest distilleries there. One that we know, quite a bit about. Whiskey that we've married to, we love. And we're finally actually going to put a score on it.
Yeah, I think it's the oldest licensed distillery in the world, not just in Ireland. So yeah, so it sits on the River Bush, which is, I guess, that goes through Bushmills, hence the name Bushmills. Then there's a little tributary that runs off that called St. Column's Rill, I believe, and that's what actually the water that goes into this bottle is. What else we know is right beside the Giant's Causeway. I've been here, I've visited it, took my kids up there to see the Giant's Causeway in Ireland because it is one of the wonders of the world. Have you ever been up there, Giant's Causeway?
I have.
You guys have to check it out.
Is it that bit, is it where they filmed that bit in that movie?
What do you mean is it where they filmed it? It's the fucking Giant's Causeway. It's not about a movie.
There's a giant statue and they go past it in boats and that. Obviously, I know what the Giant's
about Lord of the
Causeway.
Rings, yeah?
He's
That's
literally,
right, Lord of the Rings.
he's literally not getting any of this now.
Woo! Yeah, baby. Right, so bourbon and Oloroso. Ooh. Some matured in bourbon, some matured in Oloroso. Both fortified wines, both from Portugal.
Are we going to do a double
do a
pop?
double pop, yeah.
Double pop, you ready? 3,
Triple
1,
pop?
2, 1. How did I wait? I licked that.
Didn't someone comment or someone was like, I want to come and
Oh, that was the
whiskey
that was the Teelings 24 that fell off this shelf. Fell from this shelf down, bounced on the shoulder of it because it was like well-made bottle.
One of our subscribers.
And opened up. Yeah, so one of the subscribers like, I'd lick that off. And he's probably right. I just wasn't there when it happened.
I'll tell you what, we're not going to remove this until you get here. We're going to keep that going.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go 16.
Nobody cleaned this. Jay is with the neat glass as well. Neat is not because you're drinking it neat. You can have ice in it if you want, but it's NEAT.
Yeah, it's an algorithm
not sure
for
what
something.
An algorithm.
What, is it word?
Is it an algorithm?
Did I say an
for
algorithm?
something? I think it's an algorithm.
No, not an algorithm. What's the word I'm looking for?
Anagram?
Is it anagram?
No.
No. What do you call it when it's
Amalgamation?
like NEAT? No, it's not an amalgamation. You
That's like a combination of things.
Shortening. If you stop talking, I'll be able to think about it.
My brain's not working.
Shut up. It's something like that. 2 minutes, guys.
Fuck! 2-minute review. 2-minute review. 2-minute review.
2 minutes, guys. No cuts, no edits.
You know the score.
Let's bring it up and make that shit official.
2 minutes, baby.
Ooh, Chaz.
Slancha.
Slancha.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh-wee. Ooh.
Ooh. Are we doing 2 minutes on both?
Oh yeah.
Pass that water.
Oh no, it's 3 minutes, isn't it? No, wait, it's 2 minutes. I can't remember how we did it last time, but I can smell a nice
ABV
bit of honey
quick.
there.
ABV real quick, Mosey. What's it?
A nice
40%?
little bit. It's
Yeah,
great.
we're looking at 40. 40.
That's 40. Yeah,
Straight
they normally
40.
go 40, don't they?
40 on the nose.
I'm just getting mainly a nice little bit of honey in there.
Yeah, there's loads of that.
Really is.
42, is it? Mm-hmm. A little bit of ethanol, but
Not
not too much.
strong on the nose for me.
I like what's coming off the wine cask that they used on it, though.
It is quite subtle.
A very nice whiskey.
Little bit of spice on the mid to back palate, which to me, from drinking this for so long, and I'm not trying to compare, but I think that's just purely the age taking it down, because they're both 40% and they've both been matured similar. Obviously same place, same mash bill, same everything pretty much. So not that I haven't tasted this yet today, but I just know from drinking it, but it's really, really, really nice. From an Irish single malt, triple distilled, that honey on the palate, not on the palate, sorry, that honey on the nose, spice across the palate. It is pleasant on the palate, and it's staying, it's holding the finishes there.
The finish is good.
Yeah, finish is good.
It's quite long. It's not really, I'm getting quite a dry, mouthfeel on that. Typically, with most Irish whiskies, even though it's in the UK, being triple distilled and all, it is very smooth, really easy drinking, and like I said, heavily honeyed and finishing the sherry
Do you know what it reminds me of? It's going to sound crazy. People might not even like what I'm going to say. It reminds me more of a pot still than a single malt. Although it's a single malt, it's an Irish. There's just a lot of that pot still creaminess that's coming off through the palate into the finish.
Not to mention the spice.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
reminds
fruity
it reminds me
nice
a bit of
summer
like
fruits
a
with
pot still,
spice.
like a green spot Lovel Barton, but without the banana that the Lovel Barton has.
This is more spicy than the...
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
absolutely,
More
yeah.
spicy, but the same creaminess, more honeyed than ripe banana, but still.
The honey comes back in the finish as well. Not so much in the palate, but it comes back in the finish, or it did then.
Not bad.
I like it.
What are we scoring, boys?
Being as it's a Bushmills kind of day in terms of our review, we're going to smash through our scores on this and move on swiftly onto the highly anticipated 21-year-old. We're talking about the whiskey. Anyway, it just ticked all the boxes, very easy to drink, on the palate. It was very, very creamy, as you mentioned, Jay. Right amount of spice, back palate, there was a bit of that, a little bit of that ethanol burn coming through, but the finish is nice, honeyed, sweet, and it continues.
The thing I like most about this whiskey, I think, is in the finish, it just leaves just a creaminess in your mouth for a while.
It's like a creamy caramel that stays in it.
It's got some nice aspects of the 21, but at a more sort of affordable price, and it's easy drinking. Like, I could have that on my shelf permanently.
It's that one there.
Trying to think, could I put us in an Irish coffee maybe,
Yes.
counteract
I
quite
think
well.
that'd be great.
I don't know if I would, because I think it's too good of a sipping whiskey to go into a coffee like that. But you could go with for a coffee.
He doesn't like coffee there.
I do, yeah. No, I love an Irish coffee. I don't like coffee, but I like an Irish coffee and I like an espresso martini. So I do like coffee with my alcohol. I just don't like coffee with coffee.
I'll stop you there. I'll let you finish, but it's espresso.
Espresso.
It's fine if you don't drink coffee, you don't understand, but it's espresso.
It was never a barista, obviously.
I put it in the comments. It's espresso.
It's espresso.
With an S.
Whatever. I don't care. I don't drink it. So
I just want to express
my
my
espresso.
feelings to you.
Yeah, I
And
express.
think
I
you're an
express
idiot
them
to
back.
say,
But allow him to express what his score is. Tell us, Jay.
My score on this one, I actually like it a lot, and I think I'm going to go with 8.8.
okay, nice.
That's a very fair score.
I've expressed what I like, and actually there's not too much to dislike. I just think there could be a bit more on the nose that could bring it up, but for me it's a 7.8.
Fair enough. For me, as a sipping whiskey, nothing that's going to blow your mind on the top shelf, but is going to be well within the affordability and something you can easily drink. Has a lot of characteristics from the next whiskey we're about to try. I'd score this at a solid 8.2. I really enjoyed
Mo's
it.
gone high in it.
Yeah,
Nice, Mo.
it's just
All right.
consistent.
8.2.
We don't
8,
even
and
need
7.
anyone to do the maths on that, because it's very obvious that it's an 8-point whiskey. Well, look, his is 2 higher than yours, and mine's 2 lower than yours.
Makes sense.
So yours is in the middle.
So she's 8 neat. Bushmills 16, 8
Yeah.
neat. I think 8's a fair score for it. If it was a 7.9, I'd agree with it as well, but I think 8's a fair score.
8's definitely a fair score, but for me, you know, I could definitely continue drinking this bottle by myself, alone.
Oh, all alone.
I may even take it home.
I'm all
Tons of
alone.
ice cream.
'Cause I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me.
So that's your Bushmills 16. Not bad at all. Moving on swiftly.
To the Bushmills 21. All right, guys, so we're gonna do the Bushmills 21 now. We just done the 16. 21, this is one of my top whiskeys. The price point I love in this whiskey, it's 160 quid a bottle, which seems, some people say, oh, it's very expensive, but for the quality of the whiskey, I don't think it's expensive. It's as good as any, you know, $1,000 bottle or whatever, but it's not $1,000.
But also, I think you have to price it at that level because in Ireland at the moment, there's no whiskey of that age around, so.
And secondly,
apart
it's a
from in their
limited
stock,
release as
probably.
well. We don't actually quite know how many bottles they've released, but each bottle has a bottle number. And
Well, this is actually bottle 993, so this is, I should have kept this one, but I didn't. We're drinking
Whiskey's for drinking, not for flipping.
it. There you go.
Don't give me that stuff again, all right?
Hey, I wasn't even talking to you, I was talking to those guys.
Yeah, I
But
know.
also, whilst we're on the subject, Mo,
Hey, tell me, viewers, if you had a Redbreast 28-year-old dream cask,
would you share it with your friends or would you keep it for yourself? Comment
Well,
below.
I've got a Redbreast here, Dreamcast. You want to share it?
Yeah, let's crack it open.
All right, let's do it. Nah, we're reviewing this right now.
We'll wait till Mo leaves because he has to leave soon.
Yeah, Mo's got to leave soon, so me and Sally will drink it. All right, let's, 2 minutes, no
2
cuts, no
minutes,
edit.
guys. 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes, no cuts, no edits.
You know the score.
Let's bring in Adrian this time, make it official.
So
All right, cheers,
cheers.
boys. I'm looking forward to this one.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, this is a big one. I'm gonna take a second.
I've never reviewed this whiskey. I've just drank heaps of it. Sorry, my
I think we
leg
did.
here.
We did. Oh shit!
Sorry,
we did
boys.
review it. But
Yeah, no, I've never
we didn't
scored this
score
whiskey.
it.
Like, scored it right off the cuff. I haven't drank this yet today. I wanted to use a 2 on this one or like a Glencairn because I think with the neat, it's interesting. I just want to see what the neat might be like.
For me, the nose is only. It's just like the 16, but with spices.
But loads of toffee, like overpoweringly really nice,
Yeah.
creamy.
It's super
delicious
welcoming.
toffee.
It's just, you wanna just fall into the glass somewhat, you know?
Salty.
Oh. But it's like you say, it's like, you know, praline kind of,
Here I am spilling my bloody,
Influence on
spilling
that.
great whiskey now.
and he's just spilling it everywhere.
The mouth feels much better.
Such a better mouthfeel.
Lovely spice on the finish.
But it's but the spices
There's
is
a bit of tobacco in the
this-
finish
yeah,
as well.
there is. Yeah, the spice is lower than what it is on the 16, but in a better way. It's
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
but it's just more
like-
rounded.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just
exactly.
more. It's just.
It
all
starts
around
in your
better.
tongue and it just finds its way up your nasal passage, just like bubbling all the way over. It's just-
Finishes second to none.
Oh, there it is. There's the infamous taste.
It's like dark fruits, but like dates and that sort of stuff
Yeah.
in the palate.
It's like medicine, good medicine for my soul and my heart.
It's quite interesting tasting the 16 and then the 21 straight after because the 21 has all of the stuff that the 16 has, but it's then a lot more complex, and it's even
Yeah.
better. It's much better balanced because even though that's okay balanced and nicely drinkable, the nose is so much more improved on the 21,
Absolutely.
and then everything.
The,
past
the
that is
21
like-
is like your girlfriend's hot sister.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither do I. My wife is not a sister. Is the time done? I was just, you know that though, like you know you got what you like, but now you just seen like, oh, that's her sister. She's way hotter.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, does Maddie have a sister?
I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
Maddie has a sister.
It is really hot in my heart when I drink this whiskey. It just fills me with so much
Yeah,
joy.
hot, like warm. That's what I
Yeah,
meant. She's
yeah.
like a warmer, more caring sister.
We're talking about whiskey here, gentlemen. God damn.
This is delicious.
That's
I forget how good this
outstanding,
whiskey is.
best whiskey that I've tried in years. It's hard, outside of, you know, some of the stuff that's not commercially available, it's hard to beat it. It's really hard to beat this whiskey for me. It's better than the Redbreast, in my opinion. It's better than anything for the price point, by far. There's nothing at that price point that compares to that. Here we are, Bushmills aren't even paying us.
It just takes every level you were looking at, your nose, your palate, your finish, and it goes, I'm gonna smash it on every certain angle. And it leaves you no negativities, nothing you can say about it in my mind that can improve it. We harp on a lot about it, and there is good reason why. For me, it's so balanced, and you know, from the first time I tried it, it took me aback. I had no idea what I was getting into. It's something that is very dear and special to me, and if I really like you, you're going to be drinking some of this.
Do you remember the first time we had it?
Yeah,
at Scott's. At Christmas.
At Christmas.
The three guys that are kind of the founders of the company, all the staff bought us each a bottle of this, and I'd never tried it to that point.
It looks like it's gonna be a whiskey. Bushmills. I like Bushmills. 21-year-old.
And we cracked it open one night, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
like
I remember someone looked at the gift
Yeah.
and Jay, I think it was you, you're like, Bushmills, whatever, man.
Yeah. Well, I went to Bushmills and I tried all the whiskeys up there, and I was like impressed with the 16. I liked it, but they didn't have the 21 on offer. And it's like if you cut to a movie now, Jamie, or whoever's doing the edit of, there's a movie called Over the Hedge. It's like a kid's cartoon. I used to watch it with my kids when I was younger. Like, you know, as a dad, you sit there and you watch it, and there's this bit where like the first time these animals ever tasted Dorito, and like, what the fuck was that? That's what I was like when I tasted that.
What is that?
All right, so we have reviewed this before and we never scored it, and now we get to score it based on we've scored what, probably 30, 40 whiskeys since then, so we have a good benchmark to go by for a whiskey like this.
I feel like at this point we need to write it down. Just come out.
And all say it at the same time?
Yeah, you know.
I know exactly what I'm scoring this.
So do I.
3, 2, 1,
9.2.
9.2.
9.2.
I said 9.2. What did you
Hey,
say?
9.2.
What did you say?
8.8.
You little shit.
Oh, you little twerp.
So wait, you scored it higher than Redbreast?
Yeah.
Oh, you found it, baby.
Yeah.
I will never score anything higher than Redbreast 12. But you
Well,
just
look.
Wait, let's do
There
the
you
maths
go.
on that quickly. 9.2, 9.2, is that 9? Do the math.
9.2,
Someone mapped it up,
9.2,
yeah.
and 8.8.
A grand total of 9.1.
9.1.
Holy shit. That is it. Very well deserved. Like, let's
Well, we hit our
cheers up.
9-point whiskey, folks.
And also, if anyone did comment and suggest that we do Bushmills 21 and we didn't see it, then please comment below your comment so we are alerted to it, and then I owe you a bottle of Bushmills 21.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I spent a lot of the last 5 minutes struggling because I was drinking this and I was like, I mean, this is better than the Redbreast 12. If you take price out of the equation, this is
still better. No, it's still better even with price.
It's just so much more complex. There's
If you're
so
rich,
many
maybe,
different things happening.
and money's not an issue, then yeah. But I can.
What do
I
you mean
can
if you're
buy-
rich? 160 is not that much for a bottle.
I can buy a 40 quid bottle of Redbreast every week and it's not going to break the bank. But
Okay.
I can't do that with this.
Okay, so here's my question for you. You could buy, it's 50 quid for Redbreast, right? So
Not where I'd buy it.
okay, so you can buy 3 bottles of Redbreast 12 for 1 bottle of Bushmills 21. Are you telling me that there's not a point? Because this is completely different than a Redbreast. Redbreast is Redbreast. This is way, way, way more complex, way more going on in the mouth. You're telling me if you were buying one every week, you wouldn't just give up 3 weeks of Redbreast to have 1 week of that?
Absolutely.
I would, all day long.
But let's put that into perspective for a second. It's been the whole lockdown for the last 2-3 months. You've got no excuse whatsoever not to go and buy a bottle of this.
Yeah.
It may break the bank, but think about how much money you've saved by not going down to the pub
Yeah.
and buying cheap drizzle. Like,
Absolutely.
I've saved a fortune, and as such, I'm going to be purchasing 5 bottles tomorrow for my own selection. But honestly, hands down, one of the best whiskeys I've ever had to date. Whiskey, for me, it comes into so many variables. Where you had it, who you had it with, and what time. You know, and when I first tried this, I was in good company, and it took us all aback, and we were all excited about that. So many different variables can impact the way you perceive something as to be good. It could be a very low-end whiskey, but the memories and things behind it can drive that forward. But with this, it's completely well-rounded, and it hits every category that's so important, whether that's on the nose, on the palate, and the finish. It just leaves you satisfied.
Yeah, the only thing that people will piss and moan about this is that they bottled it at 40 and they didn't do like a 46 or a cask strength. I think that they released this at the right ABV, and there's going to be a lot of people on there that's going to say that they didn't. Whiskey is subjective, not everybody loves it. 3 of us have completely different palates and all of us love it, but that's just us.
We always and forever will remember that whiskey is subjective, but I would gladly have a discussion or a debate with someone that tells me they aren't as enthusiastic as we are about this whiskey.
I think you could put it up against most whiskeys in the world. I think if you're going to a party and someone says, I'm bringing the best whiskey that ever was and I just spent $3,000 on the bottle, it's like, it's probably going to be a good whiskey, because $3,000 whiskeys generally are old, they generally are rare, and they generally are really, really good. Otherwise the price point wouldn't be at that. But I can tell you this right now, no matter what party you go to, if you take a 160 quid bottle of Bushmills 21, you're going to be in the top 2, if not number 1.
And there you go, guys, 9.1. Yeah, I rated a whiskey higher than the Redbreast 12. Crazy, I know. Just goes to show that palates can change and tastes can change, and it's all just a matter of opinion, so. Okay, like, comment, and subscribe.